Thanks for joining us. National Chief, you met with the Prime Minister yesterday to discuss the proposed fast-track legislation. How did that go?
Well, we've just received a copy of this proposed bill, and our legal team will review the draft, and we will provide a full response over the coming days. Over the coming days, we will also organize a meeting of the AFN executive and invite chiefs to attend a national online forum to review the bill. We appreciate Prime Minister Carney reaching out yesterday to explain his government's plan to define and fast-track strategic national infrastructure projects through legislation. I had said to the Prime Minister that First Nations support efforts to protect Canada from economic uncertainty and advance resource revenue sharing agreements. However, First Nations are very concerned that this proposal may violate collective rights. These have only increased given the approaches taken to these bills in Ontario, in British Columbia, and of course the Alberta Premier's public statements about separation from Canada. That is why it is so important that Parliament and the Senate take the time needed to ensure that First Nations and rights holders have an opportunity to properly review, speak, and propose improvements to this legislation before it is passed. We fear that attempts to ram legislation through Parliament may have significant consequences. The rights of First Nations under international law, the United Nations Declaration Act, and the Constitution of Canada are at stake. And failure to obtain free, prior, and informed consent will likely result in protracted litigation. During my discussions with the Prime Minister yesterday, we were also pleased to restate that the significant nation-building opportunities associated with finally closing Canada's long-standing and shameful First Nations infrastructure gap. This gap has perpetuated deep-rooted inequality in our country, in Canada, and led to poorer health outcomes, limited education opportunities, and less prosperity for First Nations compared with other Canadians. So we will continue inviting the Prime Minister to take this opportunity to use this legislation to finally fast-track modern schools for First Nations kids, clean water, quality housing, access to high-speed internet, all-season roads, and vital community infrastructure for First Nations. Closing the First Nations infrastructure gap will strengthen Canada's autonomy, resilience, and security, and it will provide significant economic and social benefits to Canada.
Thank you for your time today, National Chief.
Thank you.